Hello and welcome to Volume 4 of The Secrets of Self-Hypnosis with me, Adam Eason. Copyright 2005, all rights reserved, with me, Adam Eason. So we begin this disc 4, by the way. I want to be starting off by talking about the use of words, okay? Words both within our programs and in general as well, but primarily within the programs that we're going to be writing. Words are just part of our lives, aren't they? Why do we need to think about them? The words that you use carry a lot of connotation and a lot of deeper meanings for you, as they do for everyone. What one word means to one person can mean something completely different to another. Of course, think about an occasion in your life that was a wonderful occasion. Maybe a really happy birthday, the birth of a child, a wedding, or a celebration of some kind. Maybe something when you a time when you achieved something, when you succeeded, or maybe a time when you felt the full force of joy or love. And as you think about that experience, remember what you saw, remember and think about the sounds you heard, and think about how you know and how you knew you felt so good then. Whereabouts in your body were those good feelings? Now, if you really think about that memory and immerse yourself in it, think of all the words that you would use to describe that experience. Because these are the words that are going to elicit the most powerful response from within you when you use them in your self-hypnosis program. And, when you spend time in hypnosis without working on a specific program, you can still use those words. Have a think about these questions. What words make you feel good? What words give you good feelings? Maybe make a list of the words that appeal to you. Consider using a thesaurus to help you. Ask yourself, how would I like to feel? Remember, your suggestions, your programs will work best when you have some intense emotion combined with your self-hypnosis. Words that I find are good, that I like to use in my programs, words like healthy, peace, balance, harmony, relaxed, confident, good, happy, powerful, joyful, calm, unison, assured, vibrant, loving, progressive, better, beautiful. You can get the idea. It's really important, though, to use words that have a good meaning to you and that make you feel good. Now I'm going to add a couple of words here for you to think about. Think about the words more and increasingly. These words are going to be important to create growth, power, and fluidity in your programs. Let me explain what I mean by that. Okay, consider this sentence. As a result of achieving my ideal weight, I'm happy. Okay, that sentence. As a result of achieving my ideal weight, I'm happy. This is a nice way to remind yourself that achieving this particular goal, or whatever it might be for you, you are happy. Great. However, we can make that much, much more powerful by changing a rather static happy to more and more happy, or happier and happier. I don't know about you, but I'd never want to think that I've ever reached the pinnacle of happiness and could not go any further. Just saying that I am happy is static. It's static. It's stopped still. In order to supercharge your programs and the way you utilize language and self-hypnosis, you can mobilize the words and get them moving onwards and upwards for you. You can change happy to happier and happier, or more and more happy, or increasingly happy, or progressively more happy, or more and more appropriately happy. Whatever feels right for you, just use other words to develop and power it up. Now, I want to think about and just talk to you a little bit about words that I would recommend that you avoid. Again, this is not the law. I keep saying this, I know, but some of these words may seem fine and feel fine to use, for you. I'm just giving you an idea and some considerations when using these words in your self-hypnosis. When writing your programs, my recommendation is that you consider avoiding the following words and the types of words. These are words that elicit bad feelings, words that are ambiguous, words that are limiting, restrictive or that disempower you, or words that you're just uncomfortable with. When you've prepared your program, ask yourself the questions, is there another phrase or word that's better? Is there a word or phrase that I find more pleasing? Is there a way in which you can put your energy and power into this suggestion in a better way? So, I want to point out some words that can elicit bad feelings. These are words like jealousy, temper, no, lose, sad, difficult, try, can't, won't, don't, shouldn't, mustn't. I want to point out a couple of these words in particular. The word try sends a shudder down my back. Do you ever see that on films where maybe a child or a school teacher or something scrapes their fingers down the blackboard? Ugh! Now, I use that. I get that feeling when somebody uses the word try in my company. I might use this word in therapy often to assure that people won't do what I'm asking them to do. For example, I might say to somebody, try to resist the urge to relax. Because when you're trying to do something, you are not doing it. You build in failure by using the word try. So just remove it from your programs, You'll have heard that expression, that famous expression, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Yuck. This is dreadful stuff. This is in my book, awful stuff. That expression should really read: if at first you don't succeed, try and 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 try, etc., etc. You want to do the things you want to do, and you want to achieve the things you want to achieve. You don't want to try and do them and try and achieve them. Okay, I think I made my feelings pretty clear on the word try. Now then, the next word, will, is another one to avoid if you can. Okay, will is not actually happening. It's something that you will do rather than actually are doing. It never occurs. You can put almost any sentence together with the word will in it and simply remove the word will to make it more progressive, more positive for your self-hypnosis requirements. Have a go at doing that. Now, I also realize that there's likely to be at least one wise guy, smart ass, who now uses the word as in last will and testament. Yes, very clever. I've not heard that one before. Honest. Now, here's a couple of examples. As a result of stopping smoking, I will be healthier. Okay, and you can just simply change that. As a result of stopping smoking, I am healthier. I am healthier. I will successfully achieve my goals is transformed into I successfully achieve my goals. Here we've just removed it to make it more progressive. You see, it's those finer distinctions that I keep referring to that can really make a difference to the way in which you use language to yourself. And you may as well really use it more and more powerfully while you're in a state of self-hypnosis. Lots of people come and see me because they want to lose weight. If you can't get to see me individually, I'm a good way to achieve that goal, by the way. I've got a fantastic program out, 6 CD set, Think Yourself Thin. I'm not one to absolutely go on about my products, but it's awesome. There's not much that isn't covered in there. Lots of people tell me that they want to lose weight, and I always tell them, no one loses when they come to see me. Okay, think about what else you lose in life. Generally, it's things that you would rather have kept, like your keys or your wallet. You generally lose things that you want to find again. Lose has many negative connotations. Instead of losing weight, reframe it with the words achieving and maintaining the size, shape, and weight that pleases you. It's much more progressive. It's focusing on what you want, not what you don't want, too, as we were learning about earlier. Finally, for this part of the section, I just want to mention the word but. But this word can often be seen to be negating what's come before it. I'd really like to come out tonight, but I have to wash my hair. Of course, I really love you, but I need to pursue my career. I had a great time, but the guy that was sitting next to me was rude. Now, this might not always be the case for you. However, it is for you to be aware of when addressing your own unconscious mind in self-hypnosis and within the words within your own programs. Now, second of all, I want to recommend that you really do avoid using words that are put downs. They really don't have a place in self-hypnosis at all. Avoid following these kind of words like untidy, dirty, smelly, ugly, stupid, lazy, hopeless, embarrass, ridiculous, idiot. These are all words which there's no place for them inside of self-hypnosis, really. And I know you know lots more of these. I don't really even like having to talk about them. But these, your programs and your self-hypnosis sessions are far better without these words. The next set of words for you to be aware of and avoid if you feel they limit you or your program in some way are words that are absolutes. These words have no flexibility. They're final. Words like always, totally, closed, never, finish, impossible, definitely, completely, death. You may, for example, state in a self-hypnosis program that you never smoke again, okay, which is fine and good for some people. However, you may have one too many glasses of sherry at Christmas, have a sneaky puff on your friend's cigar. Now, this does not make you a regular smoker again. However, it has negated the sentiments that you wrote in your program, because it's made your program less credible to you, because you wrote that you would never smoke again, and you just did, albeit only one puff. By writing that you would never do it, you leave no flexibility and you leave no room for interpretation of particular circumstances that may arise, which, may be fine with some of you. Just bear it in mind. I also mentioned the subject earlier within the guidelines for writing programs, and that's the notion of ambiguity. With self-hypnosis and the programs that you write for use in self-hypnosis, it's best to avoid words that are ambiguous. Okay, words like maybe, desire, growth, positive, negative, normal, whole, as I mentioned earlier. Now, you might well use the expression that your desire to stop smoking is increasing. Again, this sounds fine on the surface. However, you do want your desire to stop smoking to increase, or do you want your actual ability to stop smoking to increase? If you only increased your desire to stop smoking, it might become a very frustrating experience. Okay. Now, also, you might want to consider referring to your personal growth increasing. It could be referring to something growing on your body somewhere. Think about the word normal. Who's to say what that is? Do you know specifically what you mean when you refer to anything as being normal? And if you're going to use the word normal, I'd probably recommend that you define what that means to you, and be specific, or just substitute it for the word usual if you can. Also, I want you to think about the word able, and using the word able. It's one thing to be able to do something, and it's another to actually do it. If you're going to increase your ability with something, then also ensure that you do it. As a result of this program, I am more and more able to stop smoking, and so I do stop smoking. It's a simple. Note the addition to the end of that sentence, and so I do stop smoking. This carries out the action that you are able to do. So far I've been offering up many considerations, and they're just that, they're just considerations. You can allow yourself to find the right solutions and methods for you. And as you get more and more used to being in hypnosis and discovering the kind of suggestions and words that have the most powerful effect for you, then you can fine-tune your own use of them. Okay, have a pause and we'll be right back. I just want to run by you an idea, and this is the idea of mind mapping. There's lots of material out there. I don't really have the space or the time to be able to talk in too much depth about mind mapping here in this program, and it's a program about self-hypnosis. But when you know what it is that you want to write a program about, you may not know where to begin. I come across so many people that simply just don't know how to start, how to get started. Not knowing where to begin can sometimes prevent us from actually getting into the frame of mind to take action. So this is where mind mapping can be very useful for you. Make a map, a diagram with your chosen goal in a circle in the center, then branching out from the circle, list all of the important points associated with your goal. Sight, sound, smells, other senses may also play a part. Put down on paper all the areas that you want that program to cover and related ideas next to that. The object of the exercise is to cover as many aspects, or every aspect if you can, and describe every detail. It's a great way of committing your thoughts to paper. Then you have something real and tangible to begin to work with, to begin to craft into your program. When you've put lots and lots of your ideas about that program onto a mind map, you can then begin to formulate your programs and order the ideas ready to write out the program. Then you can think and write the program out in rough. Check the words. Check the words as we've discussed. Check it against the guidelines that I mentioned earlier on, and really craft a work of art for delivering to your unconscious mind in a self-hypnosis session. So really just to have a think about mind mapping. I'm sure that you are aware of the symbol for eternal life. The snake eating its own tail, going round in a circle. I want to think about circles and looping here, because this is a surefire way to rocket fuel your programs. Think about the power of a circle. Circles are very powerful, and we often get on a circle the wrong way. For example, you can think about when someone's found themselves in a vicious cycle. Someone who is, in their own opinion, overweight, for example. They maybe eat more because they feel lonely or bored or in need of comfort, or for whatever reason. Shortly afterwards, they feel worse as they're contributing even further to their own condition of being overweight. And often they end up eating more to feel temporarily better. It becomes a vicious cycle. So with the programs that you're writing and creating and formulating for yourself, you want to create a virtuous circle. And you can create a virtuous circle within your program so that each element of the program leads to the next. And then the last element of your program leads to the element that the program began with. Okay? This might sound confusing, so I've included an example and an illustration of this idea of looping your program in the manual. But really do have a think about that, looping them so that the last sentence, say for example the last sentence is, whatever it is, it then just loops up to become the first sentence, whatever it was that you started on, so that each aspect of the program begins to loop. And if you continue to loop the content of your programs, you can make them even more powerful. You use the power of a circle to your advantage. And the simplest way to do this, as I've mentioned, is to get the last line of your program to relate with and lead to the first line of your program, as illustrated in your manuals that accompany this program. And each element, don't just sort of full stop and then start with something fresh. Make each element of your programs lead into the other one. As a result of being so much more mentally calm, I am more and more physically relaxed, and this naturally leads to me feeling more confident, and this so on and so forth. Get these things to lead into one another. And then I just want to talk about the idea of quantum looping. I bet when you invested in this audio set, you had no idea you were going to be learning about something called quantum looping. Well, here you are. A very clever thing you're going to end up being. Quantum looping is actually very, very simple. Having used the power of just looping each individual program, we're going to use that power of looping like a powerful backbone that's running through all of your programs. So the way to do this is, obviously each of your programs need to be written in a loop. Okay, now have a really good look at the manual and really study through that, and make sure that each program that you write is written in a loop. Then second of all, include the following ideas into every suggestion you write, and that is that you have better quality sleep and better quality hypnosis. Okay, So create that in every single program that you write. Have those elements, okay? By doing this, what you're doing is you then create a commonality in every single program that you create. And this then promotes, endorses, and encourages better quality sleep and better quality hypnosis with every loop of every program that you put together. Because each program has a common element in it. And when you're powering up this element in one program, you're powering it up in all the others too. So you begin quantum looping. Then you take your rocket fuel programs and you're sending them into space as far as their success for you is concerned. This success is contagious. It spreads into every aspect of your life. The common element in each program ensures that if it is working well, then the common elements in the other programs are working well, and so they're creating momentum and developing more and more success. Now, in addition to the illustration that I've put in the manual about looping, we've also put a diagram to give you an idea of what we mean by quantum looping. Okay, so have a good study of that. This is just a small section of the audio set, but it's so important. I know that loads of you then just said, he said but. That's what happens when you start talking to people about progressive language. They start picking up on everything that you say. And do notice it in the way that other people communicate, by the way. So just begin to get your programs to loop. It's a very simple thing to do. Get your programs to loop, include a commonality in each and every program that you write, and notice how much more powerful your entire self-hypnosis becomes. Okay. Now that you know how to write, how to create, how to forge and craft these wonderful programs for change, for personal development, for enhancement, for updating yourself, or doing whatever it is that you want to do with these wonderful things. Now, you can now learn how to deliver these programs to your unconscious mind, and then we're going to be going into hypnosis. Hurrah! Hurrah, hurrah! Now then, remember step D from the self-hypnosis model. D stands for delivering your program. Then remember the postman delivering to the cat and the three-eyed alligator. Good, we're stimulating your memory a bit here. Okay. Now here I'm going to show you the three main and most commonly used methods of entering your programs once you've written them. Okay, now you may develop other ways for yourself in addition to that which you learn here. Method 1 we call the pre-session entry. With this method, you have your program written and nearby. Okay, you initially have to have the intention and to enter hypnosis, and to ensure that you're in a safe place. Okay, so you have the intention to enter hypnosis and you ensure that you're in a safe place in order that you can get ready to activate step A for accessing self-hypnosis a little later. Then immediately prior to entering hypnosis, read the program aloud and with enthusiasm, okay? Reading aloud makes it more real, more tangible than reading it to yourself silently in your own mind. Again, be enthusiastic. Let yourself know that you mean this and that you want it to work. Then, as per the remainder of step A, count from 1 to 10, entering hypnosis only after 6 on a number that you've decided on beforehand. I always enter hypnosis on 7. As I was born on the 7th day of the month, and it's my favourite number. That was the 7th of August, by the way, and of course you don't have to send me a birthday card, not that I'm wanting to influence you in any shape or form. Next, you take control as per step B, B for being in control. Then, of course, you deepen the state as per step C, continually deepening. And once you've sufficiently deepened your state of hypnosis to the level that you're happy with, you then use your inner voice, your internal dialogue, your conscious mind's voice to say to your unconscious word the following words. The program entitled, and then put in your program title. So, the program entitled, My Program for Stopping Smoking, which I read out immediately prior to entering this hypnosis session, has now been entered into my unconscious, and from this moment forward has full hypnotic authority and effect upon me. Or you can use your own words to have a similar effect and meaning. Simply, you are moving the program from where it was in your short-term memory, from when you read it out aloud immediately prior to the session, and delivering it to your unconscious mind with those words, okay? Then you thank your unconscious mind, proceed to step E by counting from 1 to 5 in your mind or out loud to signal the end of this hypnotic session. Remember, you can increase the effectiveness of your programs by, asking your unconscious mind to give it more power and make it more effective. Method two we call the open eye technique. With this method, you simply enter self-hypnosis by going through steps A, B, and C. So you're accessing hypnosis, being in control, continually deepening. Again, have your program written and nearby. And when you're happy that you've deepened enough, just say to yourself in your mind, when I open my eyes, I remain in deep hypnosis and read my suggestion. This suggestion has full hypnotic authority and has full effect on me as I wish it to. After reading my suggestion, I return to a deeper hypnotic state. Then open your eyes. In hypnosis, read your suggestion to yourself or out loud, and then thank your unconscious. Then you just exit as usual with step E, counting from 1 to 5. An important point to remember here is that when using this method, make sure there's no other words in your field of vision, okay, including your peripheral vision. So if you've got posters on the wall or writing in any other form, make sure you've fully protected yourself from its influence or remove it totally from your vision, just to be safe, ensure that nothing's unwanted or being taken on board during this session. Okay. Thirdly, method 3 is recording your suggestion, okay? Record your suggestion. The majority of my own programs are recorded so that I can listen to them whenever I like. I can relax while doing so. I just run through the simple way of doing that. When putting the CD or tape together, firstly leave the first 60 seconds on the tape or the CD blank, okay? First 60 seconds on the CD or the tape blank. You'll see why shortly. Secondly, you then record you want to record steps B to E, which includes your program within step D, obviously. Now, just have a think. What is the reason that we don't want to record step A? What's the reason that we would not record step A? Think about that. Step A is for accessing self-hypnosis. Can you remember what step A is comprised of? You certainly should. In order to enter hypnosis, it must be safe for you to do so. A recorded version of you cannot know that. You must have the intention to enter hypnosis. Again, a recorded version of you cannot have the intention for the real you to enter hypnosis. Only you can have that intention to enter hypnosis. Then, of course, you have to count from 1 to 10 to enter hypnosis between 6 and 10. It's you that has to do that, not a recorded version of you. So you record steps B to E, including your program in there. Now, when you record your programs, remember to use the second person tense. So, for example, I would say, Adam, you are in deep hypnosis, and not I am in deep hypnosis, okay? When you're writing your programs for yourself with the other kind of methods, you'll use the first person tense as you're talking to yourself, okay? I am in deep hypnosis, I'm in control. However, when you're recording, you use the second person. That's because if you settled down, and got yourself into hypnosis to listen to your recording and really benefit from it, and the voice on the recording started saying, I am in a deep hypnosis and I am relaxing, you just think to yourself, that's nice for you. What about me? You can use music if you wish to in the background to enhance the relaxing aspects of the program or any other aspect that you wish to emphasize. Then when you're ready, run the tape or the CD from the beginning and enter hypnosis in the usual way. By having the intention, being in a safe place, counting from 1 to 10, entering hypnosis only on or after 6. Now, upon entering hypnosis, give control and full hypnotic authority to your voice on the tape or the CD. You may even want to say something to yourself along the lines of, I give full hypnotic authority to the voice on the tape, and the program has full effect upon me in the way that's for my highest good. Then you can just lie back and enjoy the ride, okay? So Just be aware of music, by the way. Music can be a very powerful aid to your hypnosis. Do remember these two important rules when using music. Firstly, only use an instrumental piece. Sung or spoken words may have hypnotic influence, however much you protected yourself from the beginning. And also, don't use an instrumental piece that has memorable words associated to it. Even if it has no words, your unconscious may still associate words with it. You might, for example, instrumental versions, or one of those things. They even created panpipes versions of popular hits recently. A panpipe's instrumental version of "I'm Not in Love" by 10cc may have a rather detrimental effect on your marriage. So, at first, use all three of these methods of entering your programs and see which works best for you. When you choose your favorite, you can use your self-hypnosis to make sure that all the other methods work just as effectively. And above all, enjoy your time in self-hypnosis. Sell your programs to yourself and let yourself know that they're important. Okay, take a short break and we'll be right back.